To help my best friend get revenge, I played the part of a sweet, innocent girl. My target, the cold, untouchable heir she'd had a crush on since we were kids. After one slip-up, I stared at the 2 pink lines on the test and knew I was in trouble. But then I accidentally overheard Lucas Chin talking to his friend. "Lucas, man, when are you gonna dump that social climbing schemer? You've been playing with her long enough, aren't you bored yet?" Soon, Lucas's voice was flat. "I have a plan." Perfect. I was tired of playing the part anyway. I took the breakup money his mom offered, packed my bags, and skipped town to the States to stay with my best friend, with a baby on the way. Later, we ran into each other on a street in New York. The other woman, Hannah, her eyes red with fury, screamed at him. "Are you stupid? She only loves you for your money." Lucas just frowned, annoyed. "What's wrong with my wife loving my money? She's just appreciating one of my best qualities." Just then, my phone buzzed with an anonymous text from him. "Baby, you can run to the ends of the earth, but I will find you. I'll search every last inch." There was a sound at the door. The man, impeccably dressed in a suit, took off his coat. He caught me as I ran to him, lifting me effortlessly onto the counter. His warm lips brushed my cheek, and then I felt something cool against my neck. I looked down. It was that emerald necklace that had been trending online. Someone had commented under a video that the necklace would suit me. That comment was quickly flooded by Hannah's fans. "That's hilarious. When it comes to class, no one beats our Hannah. High-end jewelry like this is obviously meant for her. A D-lister like Alice Song should just stick to playing her ditzy damsel roles and stop trying to ride our queen's coattails, okay? If she wants to dream, she can buy a plastic necklace and get it over with." Hannah herself had even jumped into the conversation, announcing she'd be at the auction. Clearly, she was determined to get that necklace. The internet was in an uproar. A few days ago, I'd accidentally let Lucas see the corners of my eyes, red and tear-stained. The effect was, as expected, dramatic. The moment Lucas looked up, the smug smile on my face melted into one of delighted surprise. He wrapped his arms around me, the muscles in his arms straining against the fabric of his shirt. His voice was as smooth as aged wine. "A gift for you. Do you like it?" I happily offered my lips for a kiss, and he cupped the back of my head, deepening it forcefully. When the kiss ended, my face was flushed, and my legs felt weak as I clung to him, breathless. Lucas gently pulled the lace strap of my nightgown back onto my shoulder. The light scrape of his calloused thumb against my skin sent a shiver through me. He'd done things like this many times, both when we first met and now, in and out of the bedroom. Lucas had an extreme need for control over anything he considered his. I hid a small smile and deliberately kicked his thigh with my toes. "I learned a few new recipes today, babe. Do you want to eat dinner first, or would you rather have something else?" Lucas's Adam's apple bobbed, his eyes burning with desire. "Next time," he said, a hint of frustration in his voice. "It's your period. Don't tempt me." I froze. We'd been together for 3 years. Lucas knew everything about me, down to the smallest detail, without ever missing a beat. Except, I wasn't on my period. Remembering that accident 2 weeks ago, my face went pale. No way. Was I actually pregnant? Not feeling well? At the dinner table, Lucas noticed something was off. "Your cycle has been irregular the past few months. I had someone book you an appointment with a specialist. I'll take you in a couple of days." His phone rang. He answered it while putting more food on my plate. "News on that lot on the east side? Now?" I was desperate for him to leave, so I immediately played the part of the understanding girlfriend and handed him his coat. The red burn mark on my wrist was accidentally exposed, and Lucas frowned, rubbing it gently. "Sorry, baby. I'll have to leave you alone tonight." It wasn't a problem, really. Except for the scrambled eggs with tomato, I'd had the rest of the meal catered. But on the outside, I looked reluctant and sad as I accepted his 50,000 wire transfer. The second he was out the door, I ordered a pregnancy test. An hour later, I was staring at 2 bright red lines. I was so screwed. An illegitimate child would be a much bigger scandal for Lucas, the chairman of a major corporation, than it would be for a minor celebrity like me. I paced anxiously around the villa, debating whether to tell him. Then, I happened to see the subject line of an English email on his study computer. Ring design, ring design. My eyes widened. Was Lucas going to propose to me? If he really loved me and wanted to marry me, then everything was different. "Don't get ahead of yourself, my best friend said calmly over the phone. Maybe it's not for a ring. Maybe he's designing a boxing ring. I'll look into it for you. In the meantime, you should decide if you want to tell him. I calmed down a little and got the address from his driver. I took a cab to the restaurant where Lucas was having his business dinner. Standing outside the private room, I nervously texted him that I was there to pick him up. The dinner seemed to be winding down. I could hear him and his friends chatting casually inside. Whoa, is Lucas getting a leash check? Come on, man, when are you gonna dump that social climbing schemer? You've been playing with her long enough, aren't you bored yet? Soon. The man's voice was flat, as if he were discussing something trivial. I have a plan. I stood there, frozen. A message from my best friend came through. Found it. Lucas is investing in a high-end boxing club in Boston. A 10 million order makes a lot more sense in that context. The sudden tightness in my chest eased, replaced by a sense of relief. I'd been playing this role for so long I'd almost forgotten my own motives weren't pure to begin with. And frankly, I was tired of the act. I remembered the 1 million breakup offer from his mother that I had rejected that afternoon. I deleted the text I was about to send and called Lucas's mother back. I smiled sweetly. Ma'am, I've thought it over. 3 years ago, my best friend's boyfriend was stolen by Hannah. Hannah used her status as his buddy to wear his clothes and sleep over at his place. My friend gently suggested it was inappropriate. Hannah just shrugged it off. First of all, Chris and I grew up together. We're just friends. Besides, I'm a celebrity now with tons of hot guys chasing me. Why would I ever be into him? We're just close. If there was anything between us, you wouldn't have even had a chance. Women get so jealous and boy crazy. Just because you see a girl hanging out with your boyfriend doesn't mean she likes him, okay? She said all that, but the night Chris was drugged, my best friend caught them kissing. Hannah's excuse was innocent. We're friends. He was suffering, so I was just helping him out. My best friend was furious and broke up with him on the spot. Heartbroken, she moved to the States to focus on her career. To help her get even, I stayed behind. I put on the persona of a sweet, innocent girl and got to know one of the wealthy guys in Hannah's circle. At the tennis club. I was holding a bento box I'd made myself. Hannah gestured to a pile of takeout containers from a 5-star hotel on the table, a smirk on her face. Leo looked embarrassed. Sorry, Alice, I don't think I can eat another bite. So annoying. She'd cut me off at the pass. I didn't give up. I bit my lip, playing the victim. Leo, I was about to say that even one bite would be fine when someone approached our table. The man was tall and broad-shouldered with handsome features and a pair of striking, almond-shaped eyes. But his cool, distant aura created a sense of distance. My heart suddenly beat faster. Leo, sitting next to me, seemed a bit nervous. And I saw a flash of adoration in Hannah's eyes. I immediately guessed who he was. Lucas Chen. One of Hannah's childhood friends and the only one in their circle who, at such a young age, was already in full control of his family's corporate empire. She shot up from her seat, her usual brash demeanor replaced by a shy awkwardness. Lucas, you're done playing? Yeah. Hannah was about to say something else, but Lucas cut her off with a raised hand. He took a call, his brow furrowed. Mr. Davison canceled dinner at the last minute? I see. Lucas, do you want to eat with us? Hannah's words died in her throat when she saw me offer the bento box to Lucas. I looked shy and hesitant. Mr. Chen, if you don't mind, you could have the food I made. Alice Song, do you have any idea who you're talking to? She almost laughed out loud. Only a softie like Leo would fall for your clingy act. You think you can get your claws into Lucas? The next second, a deep male voice cut in. Okay. Lucas offered to drive me home. Thank you, sir. This was my first time making a bento box. I thanked him gratefully, perfectly playing the part of a girl who had fallen for him at first sight. When we got to my apartment building, I deliberately mustered up the courage to ask for his number. I don't like salmon. I froze. Lucas tapped his fingers on the steering wheel, his tone flat. You came for Leo. He saw right through me. A less thick-skinned girl might have been scared off by his condescending gaze. Too bad for him, I was a master manipulator. I lowered my eyes, feigning embarrassment as I reached for the car door. Leo helped me once, I was just trying to thank him. If you're not interested, Mr. Chen, then never mind. Pretending the door was stuck, I turned back with a confused look. Lucas leaned over to help, and I flusteredly shifted in my seat. My lips accidentally brushed against his neck. He tensed instantly, his breathing quickening. The veins on his arm bulged as he fought for control. The heart that had jumped into my throat settled back into place. The wheels in my mind started turning again. He was definitely interested in me. I adjusted my plan. Using my connection to Leo, I started showing up at exclusive clubs. I'd play dumb and bring Lucas a bento box. He said he didn't like salmon. So I switched to lamb chops. He didn't like soft-boiled eggs, so I made tamagoyaki instead. Then I hired someone to play the part of a vicious agent and take me to a high-end dinner. When Lucas passed by, I was in a corner being berated by my agent. "You're in showbiz now, stop pretending to be some pure, innocent virgin. If you want resources, you have to climb the ladder. I finally managed to find you a backer tonight, and you're being ungrateful." I wore an expression of pure defiance. After my agent stormed off in a huff, leaving me there, I finally let myself wipe my eyes, looking pitiful. Through my fingers, I saw Lucas and his assistant pass by the doorway. At the dinner, a pot-bellied man started getting handsy with me. I ignored the potential scene, slapped his hand away, and ran. Someone followed me out. It was Hannah. In the hallway, she gloated, kicking me while I was down. "I thought you loved climbing the social ladder. You couldn't get Leo, so you went after Lucas. Too bad a guy like him would never look at you. Now someone's finally willing to sponsor you, and you're not happy. You have no connections, yet you dare to follow me into the entertainment industry. A conniving little snake who's also picky. That's rich. If you know what's good for you, get out of this business before I get tired of looking at you and deal with you myself." Hannah's fans had always praised her for being forthright and bold, editing countless videos of her tearing into scumbags and vixens. Her behavior became more and more brazen, especially after she found out I had my sights set on Lucas. I leaned in close to her ear. "But you see, I'm going to take the one person you care about most." Her face flushed with anger, and she shoved me hard. "You bitch." I used the momentum to throw myself to the ground. Just then, a strong arm wrapped around my waist. A ripple of emotion disturbed the usual calm in the man's eyes. He stared at me for a moment, his gaze falling on the strap of my dress that had slipped off my shoulder. He pursed his lips and adjusted it for me, not sparing Hannah a single glance. "Come with me." In an empty room. His assistant had bought medicine and bandages, which Lucas now carefully applied to the scrape on my calf. My eyes glistened with tears as I looked at him, a mixture of pity and embarrassment on my face. "Thank you, Mr. Chin." The hand on my calf paused. Hannah was in the wrong today. "If it hurts, tell me. It's not her fault. It's my fault for having delusional fantasies about you, that's why." I lowered my head. "I'm sorry. I'll make it clear to my agent. After I finish this role, I'll quit acting." I forced a smile, trying to sound cheerful. "It's just a minor role as the fourth female lead, anyway. It'll be over soon, it won't be." I looked up, stunned, as a tear rolled down my cheek. It slid over my pale pink skin, creating a natural highlight on my cheekbone before gathering at my chin and falling like a pearl. A dark spot bloomed on his perfectly tailored, charcoal gray trousers. Lucas looked away, flustered, and held out his phone. "Are you going to scan it?" Lucas had a strong need for control and a soft spot for the damsel in distress type. And I had been an expert at playing pitiful since I was a child. When I took Lucas to a local diner, Hannah mocked me in front of everyone. Lucas has had a personal nutritionist designing his meals since he was a kid. He never eats at cheap, hole-in-the-wall places. "You're so clueless." I twisted my fingers in embarrassment. "I'm sorry, I grew up poor. I didn't know about these things." "I didn't mean to make things awkward for you." Lucas said nothing, but he silently ate with me at a dozen authentic greasy spoons. Then he took me to every single high-end restaurant in Boston. When we were filming a variety show together, Hannah tried to expose me for faking a wealthy background because I didn't know how to play golf. During a break, I refused to answer Lucas's video call. He showed up on set and found me with a red, tear-streaked face. Lucas immediately invested in the show and had that segment cut. To ease my anxiety, he personally taught me how to play golf. Time and time again, he rescued me. I acted like any girl in the throes of first love, cautious yet proactive. Even when I was swamped on set, I couldn't help but share my day with him. My private social media account was filled with lovesick posts that showed he was my everything. "When we first met, I met you, I remember you. This city was made for falling in love, and you were made for my soul. During the phase, the one I admire, the one I'm obsessed with, defies categorization. I can't define him, because he is the one and only. Filming out of town, with you, and not with you, that is the measure of my time. After we got together, I want to call you and tell you the weather is clear. Tell you I love you, as one loves hope and certainty. After he moved in, when he was away on a business trip, the house is not actually this large. What makes it seem so are the shadows, the symmetry, the mirrors, the long years, my unfamiliarity, the loneliness. I often called him to talk about the weather wherever I was. Then one day, on some unimportant afternoon, I accidentally left my tablet on the sofa, still logged into my private account. He came home early and saw it. And so the high and mighty intellectual finally fell into the carefully woven web. 2 weeks ago, Hannah had stolen a spot from me in an international fashion show. After wrapping up filming for my show, I rushed home to see Lucas. I chattered away, telling him about the beautiful scenery I'd seen. Then I felt embarrassed. I've never been abroad, so I've only seen the sights here. You've probably seen it all. Is this boring for you? Lucas watched me quietly and tucked a stray strand of hair behind my ear. Not at all. I let out a breath of relief, smiling happily. Actually, there are so many beautiful places right here in our country. If you're willing, I want to see the peach blossoms of Nainki with you, the lavender fields of Ely, the red maples of the fragrant hills, the crabapple blossoms of Leshan. I want you to experience the sights I've seen. I want you to be a part of my life. The next day, Lucas arranged a work trip for me that was even better than that fashion show. The destination was France. He cleared his schedule just to walk with me along the banks of the Seine. I heard Hannah threw a fit and smashed everything in her dressing room. I laughed so hard my stomach hurt. That night, I was especially forward with Lucas. I even drunkenly babbled about wanting to have his baby. Lucas's reaction was intense, almost fierce. Afterward, he told me with a grave expression. The condom broke. He didn't have to tell me twice. I dutifully took the morning after pill. But when I told him, his expression was complicated. He was silent for a long moment before letting out a soft sigh. I see. My thoughts snapped back to the present. This unexpected child had shattered the calm surface of the lake. Dusk was falling. In the cafe, I took the credit card from Lucas's mother. No more pointless thinking. I left with a polite smile. I'd been tormenting Hannah for 3 years. That was long enough. My best friend's company abroad was thriving, and she'd asked me to join her many times. I'd always made excuses. Now, it seemed, I had no reason to stay. While I was packing at home, Lucas called. His voice sounded tired. Something came up at the office tonight, so I won't be coming home. Then, as if remembering something, he added, stay warm, and don't forget to wear slippers. You'll catch a cold. He didn't know I did it on purpose. Every time he knelt to hold my foot, a smile would play on his lips, filled with a tenderness he himself didn't seem to notice. I said, I know. See you tomorrow. After tomorrow, we would never see each other again. It was late at night when my plane landed at LaGuardia Airport. The night wind howled. My best friend, Zoe, drove in from Manhattan to pick me up. She whistled at me. Well, if it isn't the famous Alice song. I took off my sunglasses and gave her a triumphant smile. Aren't you going to get out and help your hero with her luggage? I woke up the next day in Zoe's downtown apartment. I thought she would be like the best friends in novels, waving her hand and ordering a dozen male models for me to play with. Instead, she took me on a tour of her company. Looking at a group of finance workers with dark circles under their eyes, I shivered. I silently recounted the zeros on the card in my wallet. Thank goodness, the amount was correct. So, aren't you inspired? Fired up to build your own career? Zoe looked at me eagerly. It mostly makes me want to retire. That makes no sense. When I was heartbroken, all I wanted to do was work. How can I be heartbroken if we weren't really dating? I rolled my eyes. He was my sugar daddy. At best, you could say I resigned with a nice severance package. Can't I take a gap year to have some fun? I get it, Zoe said, a look of understanding on her face. The kept woman has been laid off. If you don't want to act anymore, how about directing? An idea sparked in my mind. Zoe grinned. My dearest friend, I've also invested in an entertainment company, you know. I majored in directing in college. If it weren't for my family's financial troubles and my lack of resources and connections, I wouldn't have switched to acting. Later, to deal with Hannah, I latched onto Lucas. In just a year or two, I shot to fame, becoming a B-list star on par with her. Before, the tabloids used to compare her to other A-listers. Now, you couldn't mention her without mentioning me, like some celebrity power couple. I had shattered her dream of cultivating a high-class image, leaving her furious but helpless. But the truth was, I didn't really like acting that much. After all, I was already acting enough in my daily life. I preferred being the one controlling the light rather than standing in it. After reading a few scripts, I invested a few $1,000,000 with a wave of my hand. I also became the producer and assistant director for a small web series. I didn't dare to go big, afraid I'd lose a ton of Zoe's money if I was too reckless. It was a love story about Chinese immigrants set in New York and Sweden. Organizing the main crew, renting the actual locations from the book, securing investors, the list of tasks was endless. I was exhausted before we even started filming. In the midst of the chaos, I managed to squeeze in a visit to the doctor Zoe had booked for me. Not pregnant. In the examination room, I stared at the report in disbelief. Zoe quickly comforted me. "Isn't this great? Now you don't have to have any ties to your ex. It was probably just an irregular period or something you ate that messed up the test. I'll find you a good holistic doctor." I forced a smile and hopped off the examination bed. "It's fine. This is perfect, actually. Now I won't have anything distracting me from directing." On the first day of filming, news of Hannah landing the lead role in a major IP adaptation was all over the internet. It was a role I had mentioned to Lucas that I wanted. Hannah even posted a vague status without tagging anyone. "Thanks to Mr. Chen for the investment and support. So grateful for my longtime friend." After it was revealed that she was talking about the chairman of Apex Group, Lucas Chen. Her fans, the brats, were ecstatic, celebrating as if it were a holiday. This is the ultimate power move. That's our Hannah, friends with even the chairman of Apex. I bet a certain social climbing wannabe is crying her eyes out right now. LOL, saying she's going abroad to study. More like she got blacklisted for riding our Hannah's coattails. Zoe saw it and immediately started cursing. "That bitch. Running into her is like stepping in dog crap. It sticks with you forever. Alice, don't let it get to you." I turned off my phone screen, my voice calm. "It's fake. Lucas wouldn't invest in a project that couldn't pass his team's evaluation. When I mentioned it to him before, he immediately had his team run an assessment. The results came back, and he told me not to take the role, that it would be a flop and a financial disaster. I didn't believe him and secretly auditioned anyway, and I got the part. If I hadn't left the country, I would be on that set right now." At midnight, I suddenly received a cross-country call from Boston. The person on the other end said nothing, only the sound of their soft breathing. I hung up without hesitation. I got busier and busier. Coordinating with the crew, meeting with the photography team, having dinner with investors, staying up all night with the screenwriter and director to review and revise scenes. There was almost no time to rest. I had started as an extra, so I had a decent eye for detail. This was the first project I was truly involved in producing, and I treated it like my own child. I learned diligently from the veterans, polished every detail, and poured all my energy into it. The autumn wind swept up the fallen maple leaves. Filming finally wrapped. I had assumed Lucas understood my silent departure. For adults, not seeing each other again was a form of mutual respect. But I never expected to see him again on a street in New York. On 5th Avenue. Leo told me everything. "She took your mother's money and left. She was never serious about you, she was only after your power and status." The man, dressed in a simple dark gray trench coat, looked effortlessly elegant and cold. He said nothing, just glanced lazily at his phone. Hannah, her eyes red and swollen, blocked his path, yelling, "Are you stupid? She only loves you for your money." Lucas finally moved. He lifted his gaze, his brow furrowed with impatience. "What's wrong with my wife loving my money? She's just appreciating one of my best qualities. If you try to stir up trouble between me and my wife again, the partnership between Apex and the Han family is over." Hannah's eyes were filled with resentment. After a tense standoff, she finally walked away, defeated. Suddenly, I received an anonymous text. "Baby, you can run to the ends of the earth, but I will find you. I'll search every last inch." My phone nearly slipped from my hand, and goosebumps prickled my skin. I was almost certain the sender was Lucas. Across the street, the man's gaze suddenly swept in my direction. I immediately turned and ducked into a nearby luxury store. I looked completely different now. My once long, beautiful black hair was now a cascade of light brown curls, and I had traded my innocent, girly style for a bold, edgy American look. I had a new phone and a new number. Here, almost everyone knew me by my English name. With Lucas's mother pulling strings behind the scenes, it should have been impossible for him to find me. I planned to hide for a bit and then leave, but I ran headfirst into a group of men with weapons, there for a 5-finger discount. My vision went black. The sound of shattering glass mixed with the terrified screams of the crowd. At the critical moment, someone pulled me into their arms. The familiar scent of sandalwood and the warmth of a man's body enveloped me. Le Labo Santal 33. I always thought it perfectly matched Lucas's cool, reserved aura. It was a gift I had given him once. I was surprised he was still using it. A low voice whispered in my ear, and I snapped back to reality. Lucas looked down at me, the frost on his face melting away, a slight curve to his almond-shaped eyes. Found you, baby. In a coffee shop. When are you coming back with me? Lucas casually poured milk into my coffee and tore open a sugar packet. I found the pregnancy test in the trash. I pressed my lips together. I'm not pregnant. I was drunk that day, it was a false positive. His movements paused for a few seconds. Oh. Not pregnant. So he came for the baby. He must be disappointed. I took your mother's money, so I won't bother you again. And I won't show up with a baby asking you to take responsibility. If you're worried about it affecting your company's stock price, we can sign an NDA. Lucas's gaze sharpened. What do you mean? I admit I approached you with ulterior motives from the beginning. I'm sorry for using you to get revenge on someone else. But you never really trusted me either, did you? You were just playing games with me. So, you never liked me, and you really wanted to break up with me? My expression was calm. Yes. His fingers tightened around the teacup, almost crushing it. He spoke through gritted teeth, analyzing the situation. If I'm not mistaken, I was your longest relationship, the one you invested the most time and energy in, and your biggest financial investment. I'm also your best-looking, most famous, and wealthiest partner to date. I can provide you with resources and connections to help you continue your acting career. Being with me, you stand to gain far more than $1 million. Lucas took a deep breath. I don't understand why you would break up with me. You investigated me long ago. You knew my motives from the start, right? Did you find it amusing, watching me jump through hoops like a little clown to get close to you? That night I went to pick you up, I heard you talking to your friend. His face went pale. I pressed my thumb into my palm to calm myself. I was climbing the social ladder, you were looking for entertainment. I'd say we're even. Let's not see each other again. I grabbed my bag to leave. But he grabbed my wrist, his voice firm. I don't want to break up. I pulled my hand away, a polite, professional smile on my face. You must be joking, Mr. Chen. You're just used to having me around. Not to mention I'm a liar who doesn't even want children. With your status, it wouldn't be hard to find a woman who is both beautiful and can provide you with emotional support. A flicker of confusion appeared in his usually calculating eyes. After a long moment, Lucas slowly looked up at me. His gaze was fixed on mine, his voice quiet. Alice Song, am I still allowed to miss you? I didn't look back. No. The web series Strawberry Fields was released on several international platforms. It would take some time to get through the censors back home. But a few of the delicate, beautiful intimate scenes went viral on short-form video platforms. I was at dinner with some domestic advertisers. I was looking down at some documents when Zoe nudged me. I looked up to see Lucas sitting across from us. A few small projects, and the chairman himself shows up. The company executive and the head director were sweating, their smiles stretching from ear to ear. Lucas was aloof, letting his assistant handle the communication, all business. Of the several new web series our company had released, he had invested the most in Strawberry Fields. His assistant politely exchanged business cards with the other executives. When he got to me, he carefully pulled out the last one and handed it to me. It was Lucas's contact information. I said nothing, treating it as just another business contact. As the dinner was ending, the decorative strap on my one-shoulder top slipped down. I felt a tangible gaze lock onto me, hot enough to make me squirm. I looked up. Lucas's eyes were cool, his long lashes fluttering. I pulled my jacket tighter, pretending not to notice. At 10 p.m., Lucas called. He rambled on about contract details until he couldn't make up anything else. The transition was awkward. The weather in Manhattan is nice today. Not a cloud in the sky. I cut him off coldly. It's nighttime now. If there's nothing urgent, Mr. Chen, you shouldn't disturb your business partners like this. It's very unprofessional. Lucas froze and quickly hung up. The web series was a huge success, and the cast and crew got together to celebrate. The head director, after a few too many drinks, his round face flushed, clapped me on the shoulder with a grin. Alice, you're amazing. How did you manage to film the love scene so beautifully? You must have a lot of experience. That goes without saying. Alice is so beautiful, she's probably dated enough guys to form a line from Boston to Manhattan. Everyone laughed good-naturedly. Here, a rich dating history was a badge of honor, and in their eyes, I was the ultimate player. I smiled. It's not that exaggerated. But maybe enough for a soccer team. If you counted the guys I had flirted with, anyway. By the end of the night, I had also had a bit too much to drink. The screenwriter helped me out of the restaurant. He was a quiet, handsome man in his late 20s. As we stepped outside, I thought I saw a dark figure flash by. I blinked, but it was just a tree. When we got to my apartment, the screenwriter had just left when my phone rang. Alice, I bought you something for your hangover. I'm downstairs. Lucas's voice was low and raspy, as gentle as it had always been. Drink some honey water before you go to bed, or you'll feel awful tomorrow. For a moment, I was dazed. I whispered softly. Honey. I heard a crash on the other end of the line. His voice was shaky, trembling. Baby, what did you say? I snapped back to my senses, hung up in embarrassment. I slapped my blushing cheeks and carried the bag upstairs. Inside wasn't just honey, but also the grapes and yogurt drinks I liked. As I was stirring the honey water in my living room, Lucas called again. He sounded casual. Baby, did you drink the honey water? The moon is beautiful tonight, and the weather is great, I know, I live here too, you know. I was getting annoyed. How many times is this now? Can you please stop calling me with these useless weather reports? I kept your number for work, not for you to harass me like this. I'm sorry, I just thought, you don't have to do this. There was never anything real between us. A fleeting moment of regret isn't love. Why can't it be? He was stubborn. What do I have to do for you to stay by my side? Why should I stay with you? The alcohol made me emotional, and my voice rose. Can you give me what I want? Ask yourself, if I hadn't dumped you first, would you still be this obsessed with me? Even if there was something real, it was tainted with lies. It's not pure anymore. Let's end it here before it gets ugly. I do love money, but I don't want to continue this shady, dead-end relationship with you. Lucas didn't call again. He'd never been humiliated like that before. With his proud, cold personality, even if he had a moment of weakness and couldn't let me go, he probably wouldn't try to see me again. Zoe told me that Hannah's new show was a massive flop. The entire production was a mess of scandals, sleeping with fans, tax evasion, sexual assault, plagiarism, you name it. The whole thing imploded. Hannah was also photographed in New York, crying and trying to pick up random men, attempting to be a homewrecker. Apex Group's entertainment division quickly issued a statement clarifying that they had not invested in the project and were terminating their contract with her. This time, there was no coming back for her. My dramatic transition from actress to producer, meanwhile, earned me a flood of support from viewers of Strawberry Fields. Public opinion is fickle. Now, the internet was filled with praise for me. Unfortunately, I was an ocean away and too miserable to even gloat. Zoe noticed. He tried to get back with you and failed? I'm a modern woman. I have a job I love, and I make good money. Why would I degrade myself by going back to being a kept woman? I forced a smile. I'm suddenly in the mood to get married. I'm a single, rich woman now. If you know any high-quality men, be sure to introduce me. Did the breakup drive you insane? Zoe flinched and quickly felt my forehead. She relaxed when she realized I didn't have a fever. Then her eyes lit up. Don't worry. My dearest friend, I have a solution that will help you move on and get your energy back. Was the male model fantasy finally coming true? I was dreaming. After being kicked onto the set of a new show, I bit my handkerchief and cursed Zoe. And her ex-boyfriend. If it weren't for him, Zoe wouldn't have become such a workaholic. Her mantra these days was, heartbroken? Go work, it feels great. In a relationship? Go work, it feels great. Want to get married? Go work, it feels great. I was supposed to be gracefully lounging on a male model's abs, lamenting my lost love, draped in gold and diamonds. Instead, I was a disheveled mess, running around the set with a megaphone, pulling all-nighters. Because my directorial debut had made a splash, the new show attracted a lot of investors. The biggest one was a mystery. They only contacted us online, saying they had faith in me and the head director. The director, producer, and screenwriter were the original team. The screenwriter was actually the most talented of the bunch. I had no idea what the big investor was thinking, leaving him out like that. But he was the one with the money, so no one dared to ask. The show needed some high-end jewelry, so our investor connected us with a world-renowned jewelry designer and collector. I took the rare opportunity to dress up, putting on a simple, elegant Audrey Hepburn-style dress. Ms. Paloma was easygoing and enthusiastically showed us her collection of jewels and diamonds. Speaking of her favorite piece, she sighed with regret. It was a pink diamond of exceptional purity, fancy vivid pink. Grade. The rough stone alone weighed 50 carats, incredibly rare. An Asian buyer bought it at auction for $50 million and sent it to me to be designed and crafted into a ring. $50 million? That's almost 400 million RMB. I was speechless. What's one more rich person in the world? It was also my biggest design commission this year, a full 80 million RMB. My mind went blank for a second. I hesitated, then asked cautiously, the Asian buyer you mentioned, it wouldn't happen to be Mr. Lucas Chin of Apex Group, would it? Ms. Paloma looked surprised. How did you know, Ms. Song? He's a friend of mine. I see, she relaxed and spoke openly with me. That was just the engagement ring. Mr. Chen had originally planned to have me design a wedding ring as well, but unfortunately, he hasn't had a chance to use it yet. Perhaps something unfortunate happened when I heard the date Lucas had commissioned her. My heart started pounding. I didn't even have to think. The memory came flooding back. The day I drunkenly said I wanted to have Lucas's baby, and he got so worked up he accidentally broke the condom. He never mentioned me taking the morning after pill afterward. It wasn't because he didn't care. It was because, even back then, he was planning to propose to me. The address to Lucas's New York apartment was on the back of that business card. His assistant's social media feed showed his schedule. He wasn't heading back until the end of the month. I could still see him. Phone calls and texts couldn't express the storm of emotions inside me. I had never been so desperate to see someone. As I brushed past a young man, I felt a small, important box being lifted from my bag. I had grown wary of pedestrians during my time in New York, and I instinctively grabbed it back. The young man with dreadlocks, having failed his attempt, scowled and pulled out a knife. Look out. The man was taken away by patrolling police officers. In a private hospital room, Lucas's lips were pale from the knife wound in his shoulder. I held his hand tightly, tears streaming down my face. They soaked a corner of the white bedsheet. Why are you crying so hard? He frowned slightly, trying to comfort me awkwardly. I'm not that badly hurt. I'm not trying to guilt-trip you, don't worry. I cried even harder. Lucas fumbled, raising his uninjured arm to wipe my tears with his thumb. The tears just kept coming, and his 5 fingers couldn't keep up. I'll stop following you from now on, okay? Feeling like he was smudging my makeup, I buried my face in the blanket. My voice was muffled. No, you should keep following me. He gently smoothed down my messy hair. A soft chuckle escaped his throat. Then, his voice steady and slow, he told me, I've been thinking a lot lately. The way I was raised, I believed that only relationships bound by mutual benefit could be stable. Love, to me, was an unattainable mirage. That's why I never said it to you. I didn't dare gamble on something intangible, didn't dare to believe you could truly love me. I don't know what love is. But I know that when you're not here, my heart feels like a piece is missing, and it aches every night. I've lied to many people, but I can't lie to you. I don't know how to make you love me either. Before I saw your private social media posts, I never imagined that someone else could be feeling the same things I was at the same time. The one I admire, the one I'm obsessed with, you defy categorization. You are the one and only. I also want to call you and tell you the weather is clear. I tried to use everything I have to keep you, money, power, resources, but you don't seem to like any of it. I'll learn again. You don't want children, so I've already scheduled a vasectomy. It's tomorrow, but Alice, are you still willing to give me a title that allows me to miss you? He had torn off the mask of arrogance and indifference he had worn for so long. Beneath it was a raging sea of earnestness, devotion, and insecurity. The one I admire, the one I'm obsessed with, defies categorization. I can't define him, because he is the one and only. I want to call you and tell you the weather is clear. Tell you I love you, as one loves hope and certainty. With trembling hands, I pulled out the simple, plain ring I had just bought. I heard my own choked sobs echoing in the hospital room. You jerk. You said everything I was going to say. What am I supposed to say for my proposal now? There was a new girl hanging around my friend Leo. Dressed in a white dress, with a rare, exquisite beauty. She looked so pitiful. I only glanced at her a few times, but she noticed immediately. Oh, so she was a rose with thorns. Interesting. I deliberately called to cancel my dinner with Mr. Davison. As expected, she approached me. I saved her, and her ardent, adoring gaze successfully shifted to me. I paused, looking at the salmon in the bento box that I disliked. She bit her plump, rose-petal lips, looking at me nervously, a mix of hope and worry in her eyes. Why did Leo get to have all the fun? I ate everything except the salmon and the soft-boiled egg, my expression cold. I drove her home. She asked for my number, but I refused. For her, I was just a side quest. Why should I make it easy? I gave her a hint. I don't like salmon. Don't give me things you prepared for another man. You came for Leo. Your taste is terrible. You should have come for me. The girl lowered her eyes, looking even more pitiful. She was explaining that she had nothing to do with Leo. I could almost see the tears in her eyes. My heart suddenly tickled. I unlocked the car door on an impulse, then immediately felt a twinge of regret. She looked over at me timidly. It won't open. I leaned over to help her, and her lips brushed against my neck. My whole body went rigid. So she did it on purpose. Strange. Her little tricks, used on me. Why did I find it so thrilling? My little Rose brought me a bento box. She learns fast. She knows to latch onto someone with real power. The hated salmon was gone, and the soft-boiled egg had disappeared. Fine. Since she's making such an effort for me, I'll eat whatever she makes. I ran into her at a dinner. Her agent was yelling at her. The rose petals had wilted. She was crying in a corner. Facing my direction, tear-streaked and utterly pathetic. Was she trying to seduce me? Someone made a move on her, and she ran out. My annoying female friend was taunting her. I have excellent hearing, so I also happened to hear my little Rose's provocative words. She was definitely trying to seduce me. She got pushed, and I caught her just in time. Her waist was so slender, so soft. Why did her strap fall off? What if someone saw? That wouldn't be good. She's latching onto me now. From now on, only I should get to see that. I adjusted it for her, my expression cold. Her calf was scraped. She let me carry her into an empty room without a fight. I'm actually a germaphobe. But her skin was so white, so delicate. So my germophobia suddenly vanished. I held her calf and cleaned the wound. She wasn't asking for my contact information. I was getting a little anxious. She said she was having delusional fantasies about me. She said she was just an insignificant fourth female lead. I breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, my cue. Wow. Her angle, her tears, her eyelashes, her lips, her chin, what is happening? There's no need to be this beautiful. A little white rabbit come to life. I was thrilled again. To hide my reaction, I had to look away. She made the first move. It's only fair I make one too. Her name is so unique, so beautiful. Just like her. But I won't be easily swayed by her. I've already had her investigated. She's not trying to seduce me because she likes me. She's used this trick to date many guys before. But she's so beautiful, it's normal. None of those guys were as rich as me. At most, they were a little handsome. But not as handsome as me, right? And I have money. Seriously? How did a bunch of losers get so lucky? I won't just casually date her. Not unless she treats me better than all her exes, pursues me for longer, and invests more effort. I don't have to be the only one, but I have to be the most special one. She loves to play the victim. especially in front of my loud, rude, and ill-mannered female friend. At first, I was annoyed, but when I realized she wasn't trying to seduce her, but me, I was thrilled again. Why do I love seeing her cry so much? I stared at the $2 million I had just invested in the show, completely baffled. Her family used to be well off. Her posture and details when playing golf were correct. Her demeanor was elegant. But she pretended to be poor and clueless. Oh, so I could teach her and we could have more physical contact. She really loves trying to seduce me. Thrilling, thrilling, thrilling. She's usually so careful with her electronic devices around me. But today, she left a tablet out. Another one of her tricks. After reading the content, my pupils dilated. I almost ascended to heaven. I could die happy. How is she so good at this? She calls me to talk about the weather. It turns out she was telling me she loved me all along. Ha. An ordinary man would have been completely wrapped around her finger by now. But she wouldn't be interested in an ordinary man. What does she want from me, to go to all this trouble? Does she want to take over the entire company? She wins. I want to marry her. No, 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 I don't. My annoying female friend bothered her again. Good. My little Rose is trying to seduce me again. My God, so many romantic places. She wants to go to all of them with me. Why does she suddenly want me to be a part of her life? She should stop talking. I feel like I have nothing left to give her but the entire Chin Corporation. Using a business trip as an excuse for a date. Blissful. This is the life. My annoying female friend can be annoying a few more times. I can lure my little Rose away from the set for more dates. My annoying female friend is furious. My little Rose is happy. I almost died from the thrill. What is she talking about? She wants to have my baby? What does she want from me? To have our child, then use the child to take over the Chin Corporation and rule from behind the scenes? I shouldn't have watched so many boring historical dramas with her. What is wrong with me? Why won't my body listen? The condom broke? It must be fate. I have to propose. She's so beautiful and lovely. A pink diamond would be perfect for her. I've already bought the diamond, and she took the morning after pill. She won't even give me one child. She was just saying it. Pure seduction, she wasn't serious. Heh, I wasn't serious either. She was getting attacked by my annoying female friend's fans online. She was crying in secret. My damn mother was also trying to force her to break up with me. Faced with a $1 million offer, she refused without hesitation. She knows what's good for her. I coldly bought her that $800,000 necklace as a gift. Heh. She turned down a $48 million gift and settled for this tacky thing. Ah, she's throwing herself at me, kissing me? What is this, a peace offering? My heart is cold, but my lips can still kiss. I reluctantly accept. What happened? My wife burned her hand making scrambled eggs? Looks like I can't let her make scrambled eggs anymore. My heart aches. My friends ask when I'm going to dump her. Are they kidding? So you guys can make a move on her after I dump her? They all think she's a schemer, deliberately latching onto me. Heh, I don't see her latching onto you. I said coolly, soon. I have a plan. What a bunch of posers, acting like they could find a goddess like my wife. Thank God I'm rich. I spent years building my strength, overthrowing my controlling, oppressive parents who restricted my every move, and became the only one among these idiots with real power in the family. Otherwise, where would I have met my angel wife? A bunch of morons. I came home to find my wife gone. My God, you can't play me like this. She blocked me. My wife changed her number. My wife took my mom's money and left the country. It was only $1 million. The jewelry I bought for her on a whim was worth more than that. Does she think I'm worthless now? Couldn't she have at least taken more stuff before she left? She's making me look poor, like I don't treat my wife well. What's this in the trash can in my wife's closet? I clutched her clothes and gasped. My wife is pregnant. The emotional roller coaster, the fear in my heart, it's all understandable. I'll give her some time and space. Months have passed. My wife is thriving in Manhattan. I'll give her a call, see if she'll yell at me. No reaction. She hung up on me? Don't tell me she's really forgotten me. I've known where you are all along, honey. I just didn't want to bother you. I found out the show I secretly invested in for my wife has started filming, but the lead actress is my annoying female friend. She even posted on social media pretending I invested in it for her. I stayed calm and didn't make a move. I waited for my wife's reaction. My wife didn't react. I'm not calm anymore. My annoying female friend followed me to New York. She yelled at me with red eyes. Are you stupid? She only loves you for your money. She almost spit on my clothes. I had dressed up especially nice, in the old money style my wife loves. I was planning to make a dashing entrance, and she almost ruined it. I frowned impatiently. What's wrong with my wife loving my money? She's just appreciating one of my best qualities. Loving my money is loving my best qualities, and loving my best qualities is loving me. It's logical. My wife isn't here, and this girl dares to talk back to me. We've known each other for so many years, haven't you realized how much I can't stand you? I'll pull that investment as soon as I see my wife. My annoying female friend left after I threatened her. Time to see my beautiful wife. I sent her an anonymous text to give her a heads up. My wife is playing hide and seek with me. I'll just be the hero and save the day. My wife's English name is Alice. Cute. My wife looking scared and startled, cute. Why isn't my wife crying for me anymore? Unlocked a new look for my wife. So hot, so beautiful. Turns out I'm not that into the sweet, innocent type after all. My wife isn't pregnant. Her round, sexy belly has slimmed down a bit. Well, if she's not pregnant, she's not pregnant. What a stupid mix-up. It almost scared my poor wife. An NDA, what the hell? Wait, why is my wife confessing that she approached me with ulterior motives? Aren't you the one playing me? I'm happy to be played. What is this about breaking up? This is not how the story is supposed to go. Give me back the wife who loved to seduce and use me. I forced myself to stay calm and analyze the pros and cons of being with me. Don't break up with me, don't break up with me, don't break up with me. Did someone hear my wish? A crow? If you can't grant it, don't do the opposite. Ah, she heard me joking with my friends. It's over, she misunderstood. How do I explain? I wasn't treating you like a game, honey. I'm not breaking up with you. If you're a liar, then stay and lie to me. You can stab me, just don't leave. Why are you really breaking up with me? I don't want this. You haven't even taken all my money and power yet. Why are you really leaving? Damn it, my wife won't let me miss her, sob sob sob. Heh, Alice song, you think I'll give up that easily? I'm going to get close to you. I'm going to be your advertiser. All sorts of weird people dare to talk to me now. If it weren't for my wife, I wouldn't even bother looking at you. My wife took my business card. Yay. I left my address on the back. I hope my wife comes to find me. Ah, my wife's strap slipped again. My hand is itching to fix it. My wife almost saw me. I'll call my wife at 10 p.m. and do some reconnaissance to see if she's been seduced by any bad men, if she's brought any scumbags home. Huh, she hasn't. I want to tell her I love her, but I've never seen what love is. I don't want to lie to her. I remember the posts on her private account. I'll subtly talk to her about the weather. Blah, 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 not a cloud in the sky. She should get the second half, right? Ugh, why is she calling me? Unprofessional. She's the one who posted it. How can she not remember? My wife has dated a whole soccer team. How is that more than what my investigation found? Then what am I? A substitute who successfully got promoted to starting forward? Where did this scumbag come from? He's even copying my style and vibe to seduce my wife. What a creep. Her waist is not for you to touch. I swallowed my anger and bought my wife some honey for her hangover. I saw her favorite grapes and bought some, still fuming. I saw her favorite yogurt and grabbed a pack. Why did I buy so much stuff? Whatever, my wife is almost home. My wife has to drink my love-infused honey, or she'll be bloated and uncomfortable tomorrow. How can two words be so beautiful? I'm floating on air. My wife only calls me honey in bed. She got shy and hung up. We're definitely going to work out. I called her again and hinted about the weather. Huh? Why did she yell at me? If she wants something, she should just tell me. What does she mean, a love tainted with lies? What does she mean, a shady, dead-end future? I never planned on playing her. I don't know what real love is. I just know that I genuinely want to marry her. Is being with me that shameful? All the happy, joyful moments we had, were they all just an act? She even looks down on my money. Then what else do I have to give her? I don't dare to see her openly anymore. So I decided to see her in secret. Her best friend caught me. This workaholic wants to have a talk. Yes. A great opportunity to get back together with my wife. I got yelled at. She said I have a businessman's mindset. She also said my wife and I both overthink things, which is why our relationship failed. You've seen her acting. The critics call her talentless. How good can she be? She just has a natural talent for spotting the person in the room who is most interested in her. That's why she's so successful. She said you were the easiest and the hardest person to fool. That being with you was difficult, but also incredibly happy. Whenever she talked about you, her face would be filled with a blissful, lovesick look. She was afraid you'd find out her initial intentions weren't pure, and that you wouldn't like her anymore. She wanted to confess, but I talked her out of it. Because you never once told her you loved her. Those words are very heavy for people like you, aren't they? Almost rare. You were convinced she loved your money, your power. But if it wasn't for love, she wouldn't have slept with you, she wouldn't have stayed in the country doing a job she didn't like, and she wouldn't have turned down my many invitations to come abroad. She was forcing a smile when she found out she wasn't pregnant. She's a player who's been around the block, but she fell hard for you. I was worried she'd get depressed, so I forced her to join a new production. She's both a producer and a director, and she never once complained about being tired. But one day, after working until 5 a.m., she came to me for a drink, got drunk, and cried her eyes out. It was the first time she let it all out. She cried about being heartbroken and still having to work overtime, about the love she lost, about the child that never existed. How can you lose something you never had? If you can't give her a pure, untainted love, then please don't ever appear in front of her again, okay? I was silent for a long time. A miracle worker. I'm fully revived. Baby wife, here I come. Don't ask how I got here. Even if you beat me to death for being a stalker, I'll accept my fate. Why has my wife become a workaholic too? Why is it that scumbag screenwriter again? Whatever, I'll have my people secretly invest in their project. Whatever the highest investment they have now is, I'll double it. To avoid being too obvious, I said I was investing because I had faith in my wife and the head director. I specifically said the screenwriter was not included. My wife needs to borrow jewelry for the show. Of course, I have to introduce her to the best. I immediately connected her with the designer of the pink diamond. What? My new assistant said I'm overdoing it. He talked bad about my wife, he's fired. Take your severance package and get out. Why did that old gossip Paloma tell my wife about that? Good job. I can't help it, my wife is just too smart. She figured it out so quickly. I followed my wife into the jewelry store. Why does my wife suddenly want to buy a plain band? A plain band is too plain. How can it suit her? My wife should wear the most beautiful, most dazzling, most expensive ring. Is it because she doesn't have enough money? I secretly transferred the money, then turned around to see my wife being targeted by a pickpocket with a knife. The knife lunged forward, I'll take it. Damn, that hurts. My wife is crying a river by my hospital bed. What's going on? I'm not dead yet. It's not that serious. I was just pretending to be weak to scare you, to make you feel a little more sorry for me. She doesn't think I'm trying to guilt trip her, does she? Does my wife still hate me? Why have my wife's eyes turned into faucets? The tears just won't stop. I'm starting to panic. Did she find out I was following her? I'll stop following you from now on, okay? She buried her head in the blanket like a little hamster. Her voice was muffled. No, you should keep following me. So cute. I couldn't help but stroke her hair and smile. All those complicated, unspoken emotions suddenly became clear. It was love at first sight, a love that grew over time, a love that deepened with every passing day. How much love is enough to be called love? Is it the calm affection of my parents' arranged marriage, or a passionate, whirlwind romance? I don't know, but I want to learn to love. Iron chains can't silence the roaring of my heart. From the very first moment I saw her, I let it happen. Just like Duras wrote. Perhaps this was all a beautiful mistake. In that fleeting moment of looking back, in that instant of light and shadow, Love had already quietly arrived. I used to watch her sleep, wondering if we had a past life together. I don't know if we will return to each other in the next cycle like a repeating decimal. The dream-filled nights are a deep, dark pool where I can hide. Everything, including myself, is absurd and silent. In that moment, I want nothing from anyone. Not even from her. Except to let me miss her. I don't want to wait until I've lost her to start understanding her. The sun is new every day, and my love can always be renewed. Our love is not just her being emotional and me being rational. Extreme madness is the highest form of reason. To a discerning eye. Extreme reason is pure madness. Holy crap, did I save the entire world in a past life? My wife is proposing to me? Where's my huge pink diamond ring? Why hasn't that useless assistant brought it to me yet? And the contract for the half of my shares that I'm giving her? Why are they so slow at a critical moment like this? I anxiously tapped my phone, on the verge of losing my cool and cursing someone out. MMPH. My wife kissed me. Ah, so fragrant, so soft, sob sob sob, I really have a wife. A joyous occasion for all, time for a Coca-Cola. I'll send a few $10,000 red envelopes in the company group chat. This is great. Not only do I not have two meddling parents. I can get 99 plus blessings before we're even married. He, I love my wife. I'm going to be with my baby wife forever.